Eloise Hathaway was born in 1839. She is Gertrude and Charles Hathaway's first child. Eloise had a good childhood. Her parents always made sure she felt loved, especially since she was the only girl in the house. As a teenager, she found more interest in partying and spending time with friends. She always got along better with boys than girls. In 1857, she met a man named Anton. He was everything to her. There wasn't a day they wouldn't spend together. Their deep love for one another was real. But after months of nirvana, Anton disappeared. Around this time, Eloise discovered she was pregnant. She didn't know where Anton was but needed to find him. She told her parents, and while they weren't happy, they would support her and her child. She asked around to find out where Anton may be. She discovered where he lived and how incredibly wealthy he was. When she entered his home, she was greeted by a couple. She asked about Anton, and they told her that he was their son, and he was out with his wife. Anton was secretly engaged during their affairs, and didn't tell her about it. Heartbroken, she told them to tell him they need to talk before going home. Later that night, Anton paid her a visit. Eloise couldn't believe that he was married to another woman. Anton explained that his parents arranged for the marriage, and that she was the one he truly loved. She didn't want to believe him. That when he begged her for forgiveness, she couldn't help giving him a second chance. They then went inside, where she told him that she was pregnant. Anton was devastated to hear it. He told her his parents could not find out about the baby, or they would never let her see them. Eloise promised not to tell, but hated that her child had to be kept a secret. All she wanted was to raise their baby together. As the months went by, Anton made time to visit her. Despite the circumstances, he still supported her. They were still madly in love, but sometimes it was just too much for her to handle. She was lucky to have her parents with her every step of the way. Anton wasn't there during her labor. It was her parents that helped deliver the baby. After the birth, while Eloise rested, her parents took care of her son. But they soon noticed that she wasn't breathing. It was then that Anton finally showed up. Distraught about Eloise's sudden death, they were infuriated to see him. Anton begged to see his child, but they wouldn't allow it. Gertrude blamed him for their daughter's death and forbid him from ever coming near their family again. Eloise Hathaway had passed away in 1858 at the age of 19. The family was devastated. So was Anton. He wished things had gone differently. Their son Xavier would grow up without either of his parents, but he was lucky enough to have a loving family to care for him. Anton would spend years feeling guilty for Eloise's death. Even though he had other children now, he would never stop trying to see his son.